Kris, back in for the start of pre-season this week. To start us off, give us a sort of brief overview of what the boys have been up to.
Well, I think they had 4 weeks off, so at the end of the season, compared to last year where we probably only had just over 2, we felt this year we probably had to give them that wee bit longer. Again, back into the playoffs, and looking back on last season, I felt like we weren't off long enough. The fatigue can catch up at times, and you have to overcome that. So this year it was more about giving them plenty of rest, plenty of recovery, so that we can get a good pre-season under our belts and be ready to go. So good time off. The boys follow a plan while they're off. Ben Tooley, the sports scientist, provides an individual plan for them, which the boys will follow, and it's a kind of build-up plan. As the weeks go, it progressively gets a wee bit more difficult. But it's just so that when they come back at a level that that they're coming back to get match fit as opposed to get fit. When they returned back last week, they came back last Friday. In fact, Thursday, Friday, we went to the University of West of Scotland over at Hamilton, and they'd done all their fitness testing in there. So a brilliant facility, a real top-end facility. We do a lot of VO2 max testing. They do jump tests, counter movement jumps, body fats. So a lot of real detail to it, but what it does is it gives us really good data that we can then use, Ben Tooley can use to create plans for the players, kind of individual plans as well. So we're quite big on that, making sure that it's not a blanket that you just throw over everybody and everybody does the same. Yes, they do the same, but they have to work at different levels, you have to operate different levels, so that data gives us that, or those tests gives us the data that we can use. And then we've been back since Monday, so back on the pitch, and it allows us then, when they come in on the Monday, we're not testing on the pitch, we're not wasting time on the pitch, we literally get to work. So we've got all the testing done on the Thursday, Friday, straight back to training, and they've had double sessions since, and the boys have worked, to be honest, worked really hard, but they came back in really good shape, which, like I said, the plan that Ben gave them over the summer was brilliant. These things do work, they've been proven to work, and like I say, players come back not just to get fit, but to get match sharp as well.
And for you as manager, when you have the boys back in the building, what is the focus of pre-season?
Well, like I say, it's about getting match fit, but there's a lot goes into pre-season. To me, we want to increase the style of play. You bring new players in, we want them to understand the style of play that we play in. Obviously we want everybody to be fit, so there's a big emphasis obviously on the sessions just now, making sure everybody gets the fitness that we require, the robustness. So we've still got to do the gym sessions, we've still got to do injury prevention stuff to make sure that by the end of pre-season, when the competitive stuff gets started, we're as good as we can possibly be. So over pre-season, that's kind of why I tried to get the squad to a level in terms of numbers, that we're not still recruiting 10, 11 players by the Viaplay Cup, which if you think back to last year, we could hardly fill 2 or 3 shirts on the bench. So I look around now and I think we're in a far, far better place, and it allows our squad then to train together, and that togetherness, that bond is actually created in pre-season, and it carries you all the way through the season as well.
In your second pre-season as the manager, you mentioned how much we've had more time this year, we had very little time last year. Do you feel like you learned a lot from last year's pre-season? Yeah,
of course. I think last season, you just have to deal with it. At the end of the day, if you're in the playoffs and you go the full way, there's not much else you can do. So we tried to dust ourselves down, we came back. I think it was testament to the players who were involved in the playoffs that we came back last season and got back into the playoffs again. So there was no hangover from it. But it did mean that it was only I think it's 2.5 weeks that the boys get off, so not a lot of time. Whereas this year, like I said, the emphasis was on giving them proper recovery, because at the other side of the season, at the back end of the season, it's normally where it starts to show at times. And if you're going to have a season, hopefully where you're in and around things, you want to be getting stronger at that point, not kind of tailing off. So we've tried to take the opinion this year that giving them that wee extra week and a half hopefully benefits us at the other side of the season as well.
And you mentioned recruitment and the number of players. That's obviously sort of started last season where we were getting players tied down to contracts, but this summer a few contract extensions as well, and then 5 new bodies in the building already. How do you feel the squad is placed at the moment?
Yeah, I think the squad, I think you see that. I think you see the calibre of players that are here already and more to come. So I think the squad is much stronger than we were. And I think you just have to look around the building, you see the players, they understand that the squad is improving, the squad is all, and that's what it'll always be. For me, it's about, every window we try and get stronger, and you have to work with the resources we have. We have to, last year we knew what the situation was, we didn't want to moan about it, we just got on with it. This year we're in a better position, we've obviously came a long way, so we're trying to make sure we get out there, we get the players in that we want, and that's, like I said, I wanted to do that early. I wanted to get them in because they get in tow with the players that are here, they understand the habits that we try and build, the style of play and what's expected of them. So great, I think you just need to see, like I said, the calibre of players that we've brought in. All the fans will be familiar with them, and they'll be looking forward to seeing them and the others that come in as well.
And how much more do you want to add to the squad?
Well, I think there's still some obvious positions we have to fill. Like, we need a right back, we need another goalkeeper in here. We're probably need to bring another striker in as well. And I think if we cover those bases with quality, then we'll be in a really strong position. And like I said, for me it's about every window you got to strengthen, and that's what I've tried to do. We'll always sign players that maybe won't work out, but one thing I think I've learned is that once you can move on quickly, you get stronger, and if you can bring in the players you want quickly, you get stronger quicker, because they're into your style of play, they're into the thought process of being a Partick Thistle player, and that's big for me. So delighted with the ones we brought in. Like I said, I think the fans will be familiar with them, looking forward to them, and I think you see our own players and our staff, we're all looking forward to it. And if we fill these few positions that we still have to, with some quality as well, some more quality, then like I said, we come into the season really positive.
And just to touch quickly on a player who we'll not see for a while but is signed up, Stephen Lawless, obviously recovering from his Achilles injury. How's this process going along? Yeah,
he's doing great, he's doing brilliant. So like anybody that knows Stephen, you'll know how professional he is. He's, especially if he picks up any knocks, he's the first guy to make sure he sticks to the programme, he sticks to what he's done. He likes a laugh and a carry on, we all know that, but in terms of a professionalism, I know I get 10 out of 10 from Stephen, and he's well on track by all accounts. He seems to be, he's walking about now, it's all about rehabilitation for him. I'm sure he'll have a goal in mind as to when he wants to return. I won't put pressure on Stephen, I will make sure that when we get the wee guy back, he's back at his best. We'll give him that time, we'll give him all the support and all the help, because like I said, I trust Stephen to do the right things. We've got a brilliant medical department here with Rob, Ben Tooley, the sports scientist. They work so well together to make sure that Stephen gets the help and the support that he needs. And I trust their decision making on his recovery, and so does Stephen. So I think everybody will be looking forward to him whenever that day comes, that we get Stephen back, but great to see that he's making big strides forward.
And our pre-season schedule takes us to Glenafton for our only open door game of the summer. Looking forward to getting back out in front of the fans in that one?
Yeah, of course. I think everybody looks forward to a game, regardless of where it is or when it is. Any player that's training, and pre-season especially, they would rather play a game than be at training, because there's a lot of runs, a lot of work. So yeah, we're looking forward to the Glenafton game. Obviously I'm from up that area, so it's closer to home for me, but I do think it'll be a good day out. I think it's obviously part of the Luke Macbeth deal, and I think you just see Luke Macbeth being a smash hit at the football club. So showing our gratitude and going back and giving them a game is worthwhile. And yeah, I think when there's so much training going on, we'll have another game just before that, just behind closed doors amongst ourselves, just to get the boys up to speed, so that when we come into the Glenafton game, we're hopefully, like I said about that style of play, we can build that behind closed doors to hopefully then take that even further when the doors open and the fans are there. So looking forward to seeing Thistle fans again. I know that the guys that signed, the new players that signed, everybody's well aware of the fan base here, and it's something that always gets mentioned to me. And I've said before, you don't have to mention it to me. I know all about it, but it just shows you how far it actually goes, and how well known it is. And you get players who want to play in front of this crowd. So why would they not? To be honest, it's brilliant, and we're looking forward to Glenafton as well.
Yeah, and feeding into that, we've just passed 1,500 season tickets sold for the new season. What would be your message to the fans as we sort of build up to the league season eventually? Yeah,
I think 1,500 is brilliant. You know, at this point to be at 1,500, I think that we have to say a thank you first of all, because they are coming out and, you know, backing us. I think you see that the player that we're bringing in, the calibre of player we're bringing in, fans are helping there. You know, and it's something we should always feel as a club, as a family, we are actually helping each other. So from me, it's a big thank you. And if we can keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and that number goes up and up and up, then, you know, there'll be more players arrive, there'll be more quality arrives, and like I said, everybody can feel chuffed with themselves, because there's a lot of hard work goes on behind the scenes, but fans also digging deep into their pockets are part of that. And, you know, it's like I said, it's gratefully received by us, and like I said, I think you see that's reflected in what we can go and do and what we can go and bring in. So thank you for what we're doing, and hopefully by the time the season gets going, we are, if not matched last year, better than last year as well.
Thanks, Kris. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you.